It is January 3rd, 2024, bringing you a Lake of the Ozarks fishing report brought to you by James and Denise Dale Guide Service. It's been, I guess it's been about a month since we've done a report. Been busy, took a little trip, Christmas, all the holidays, everything like that. Been out, we've been back on the water here the last couple weeks. And things are changing a little bit finally, getting into a winter pattern. It's slow. It's really slow this year. Today we were out and the water was 46, almost 47 degrees. And we were down around, 20, 22 mile marker like that today. Yesterday we were a little further up checking some things out, and that water was still 45 degrees. So it's way behind where we normally are this time of year. I mean, we're in the first week of January. A lot of times we're down in the low 40s by now. So, it just goes along with the entire, I'm going to say 2023 year. Everything's been different fishing, to a point. I'm going to kind of give you a recap of the year, what we've seen and experienced throughout the year of 23. Like you've seen, I want to say the weights are way off this year, but there has been slightly less weight, in some of these bigger tournaments. But there's always one or two, maybe a handful that do catch them, So as far as the shape of the lake, I think the lake's in great shape. There's the fish that we're catching are extremely healthy. We'll just go back to we'll go back to March. March, as you get your season change or season patterns that change with water temp or time of year, like they're moving up for spawning, that water's coming up out of the 40s into mid 40s, that's when you get a change. The fish move and they load up on certain banks. I had a really good March. Mid-March, these fish were right on time. They moved to the channel banks. They were on the same banks we fished for 30 years. They were there. They were right on time. We caught some good weights. Throughout the spawn, pretty consistent, like they normally are. I guess it was a couple big tournaments. The Bass Open was down here. You see what they did. They caught them good. And then we got into post-spawn. Okay, so post-spawn, that's where we've seen a big change this year because we had absolutely zero current. We didn't get the rain. Truman stayed low, never got up. Normally Truman gets up, by late May, early June, Truman's up 15, 20 foot. And then that allows them to pull current. And when I say current, I'll say 28 to 48,000 cubic foot through out of Truman and then out Bagnell creates a lot of current, just pulls them fish out there, positions them all, almost like they all do the exact same thing because of the current. This year we didn't have that. So I think some fish moved out, some stayed in the backs, some stayed around spawning areas. We found some on the bluffs. They were just everywhere. They were completely scattered throughout the year. Throughout, I'm going to say, late May through late August. Okay, they were just scattered. You could catch them. You could catch them anywhere. You never knew where you was going to catch a fish. And when I say a fish, a good fish, but they were so scattered, it was really hard to put together a solid big fish pattern. We could go out on trips, no trouble catching fish, numbers, a lot of numbers, keepers, went through a lot of, those 15 to 17 inch keepers where those, 3.5 to 5.5, man, they were kind of tough for a while, and then we got into September. Okay, and September, man, these fish were like, I mean, right on schedule. You know, you start getting a cool down, you know, and I'll be honest, you know, late um, August, I was starting to think, man, what's going on? There's just ain't fish being brought in. Where, you know, where's our big fish? Something might be up. I don't know. You know, there was a little bit of a, I won't say a fish kill, but we had that little instances. You know, midsummer, there was some reports of you know, floating fish down by the dam, certain areas. It was kind of stretches. You know, I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe we're getting a correction. I don't know. But then September 1st hit, and you know, then these fish, we like to go shallow. We start throwing top water, and we like to flip shallow. So now we're getting into, like I was saying, spring. We got into that change of patterns, time of year when you'll get all the fish or majority of fish all kind of do the same thing. So then if they're going to group up and you're going to put together a solid pattern and catch some big fish, that's when it's going to happen. When they change their seasonal patterns and they all tend to kind of do the same thing. Well, here comes September and they did, you know. So just about time I was thinking, man, something's up, no big fish. My partner John Sapper and I catch the biggest 5-fish limit we've ever caught on this lake, 26 and something pounds for 5 fish in September, flipping shallow docks, top water, the exact stuff we like to do, we've done for 30 years. The fish were there, they showed up, and that lasted for what, 3 weeks? You know, me and you won whatever that charity tournament out of Red Oak. The Warrior Williams. No, that was a different one. Yeah. There was 2 of them out of Red Oak. A couple weekends in a row, we ran the same pattern, caught them good. The BFL was here, the Costa was here, not the Costa, the Toyotas was here, and man, that pattern held up. Big fish were showing up, and caught them good. So then I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with the lake, great. Then we get into October, November. Normally we can run a topwater. You can run a topwater and just kill them. You know, wasn't there. You know, I mean, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as good as what it
normally is. You know, you can run that topwater. We were running swim baits, flipping jigs a little later. Crankbait bite kind of came on. You know, it came on pretty good, and it kind of fizzled. You know, same with topwater. It started coming on, it fizzled. The swim bait bite, same deal.
We had too many fishing poles on the deck in the fall, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. And normally you can run out. You know, you go out with three rods on the front deck. You're good. You know, you got a bottom bait, you got a crankbait, you got a topwater, right, spinner bait. You know, spinner bait bite really didn't develop this year until the last few weeks. It's been okay, hit and miss. You know, and now we're getting into, so what, late October, November, you know, about time Missouri Invitational. It was tough. It was really tough fishing right then. I mean, it was all you could do to catch fish over 3.5 pounds. Limits every day, not a problem. Limits. But when I say limits, we're talking keeper fish. That could be a 13-inch Kentucky, a 16-inch largemouth. You could catch a limit every single day, but they weigh 9.5 to 12 pounds if you're lucky. 12 pounds was a big old solid limit, you know. So, you know, we were past that change of patterns, and then fish spread out again. You know, when that water change, daylight change, time length change, you know, they kind of spread out again. Some left, some went up shallow, some suspended. They've been all over the place.